Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys were not expecting it, some of you, but for those who are and those who are willing to watch this review, welcome. We are finally doing the Angels of Zariman review. Finally, a review that has been a long overdue. 1 month, 2 months. You know, it was released April 29th, I think. I'll put the correction if it wasn't or when the actual date was. There's a lot to cover. I will be sure to introduce all the weapons, arcanes, new missions, and etc. in this review. So I'm just gonna give my honest opinion of how this update was, and y'all could give your feedback because I know it's gonna be a wonderful feedback. Then we all love this update.
What did you say?
Or maybe not so much. Only time will tell. Let's get it. Yeet! And a quick little announcement: we are having a Plat giveaway on October 2nd. It'll be streamed on Twitch at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's just a little fun event to celebrate that I hit MR 30 and your boy hits Big 21. So to celebrate, I want to do it sooner, but this is the only time I can do it. So we'll be just testing people's knowledge. We have a 3,000 Plat prize pool. So anyone, there's a big chance of winning top 5. And even if you don't win, people who participate get a silver prime part. So it's a win-win. Come on, join. We have a fun time. Be sure to check in and join the Discord to get all updates of how this contest will be going, and the times is already announced, and any other updates and information. And another quick thing I forgot to add is that anyone can participate, even if you're on a different console. I will be waiting until cross-platform is released, and I will be holding on to that plat until like I said, is released, and I'll give you that plat. So it will be a wait, but you can still participate, and you'll get that plat. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow. Heck, it might not even be in a month. But I'll make sure as soon as cross-platform it comes out, I'll be sure to give you the plat because we're just doing this for fun. And I don't want to hold any other plat. I already have enough. I can get to MR Legendary 2. I can achieve my goal. So I just want to give it for fun. And so as soon as cross-platform comes out, I'll be sure to hand off that plat to the winners of this contest.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Preparing
JB's Showtime Reviews.
New day, same review. While this is a review, there's nothing. This is all just jokes, and I'm just giving my opinion. People are obviously able to enjoy it, not enjoy how this update went. But I'm just gonna speak from how I felt this update was, and what I liked, what I didn't like so much, and what I think they could change to make this update a little bit better. Okay, with all that being said, let's get started with the first topic of our review, which is the story. To me, in my opinion, the story was mentioning mainly eternalism, how no one is truly ever dead. Honestly, it reminds me of a special quote, Rise of Skywalker.
No one's ever really gone.
It should be, actually, this update should be called The Rise of Tension, because this title or this quest gives me hope that tension may come back. As Eternalism says, is that people are never really truly dead, and people can come back, and all that sort of stuff. And while I forgot to mention this earlier, this is a non-spoiler review, so I won't be spoiling anything. I'm just giving what my opinion on this update was about. And plus, we've already found out about Eternalism and New War, so we already know what Eternalism is. How this mission proceeds to do is it pretty much shows you how the 3 new mission types that are introduced in this update, which are Void Cascade. They show you, then they show you Void Flood, then they show you Void Armageddon. this quest is mainly just about showing you guys the new mission types while showing the new map, Zariman. I like the new map. It has this ominous, thrilling type of theme to it, which I enjoy. And the 3 mission types, I'll give my opinion, but overall, I will say I enjoy them, and I'll explain why I enjoy some of these rather than others. So the first Void mission that I'll be showing off for Angels of Zariman will be Void Cascade. And the way that mission type works is you'll have a Void or Exodizer spawn with a Void energized contaminated area. It looks like a little sphere around it. And what you have to do is you have to enter that sphere and destroy the Void rifts that are inside of it using your operator, your amp. There'll be around 3 to 4. They're very easy to destroy. I use the 7 amp, which is basically just like an automatic spray laser. It makes it super easy to get these done and over and done with. And after you destroy the Void Rifts, you then have to destroy the Exodizer, the energy that's coming out of it, what they refer to as the Void Manifestation. And the way it looks like is, think of it as like a 3D hollow statue, just like staring, like just looking menacing at you. And you have to destroy that with your amp. And then once you get destroyed with your amp, a Thrax spawns. A Thrax Centurion, Sentient. I don't remember. I don't know how you say it. And that spawns, and you have to then destroy that with either. I mean, it doesn't matter. Use your melee. Use your weapons. Use your amp. Whichever one. If you're really that beast-like, you could just destroy with your amp. But then after you destroy its human form, then you have to destroy its sentient form to uncontaminate the Exodizer. And a good word of advice when dealing with these enemies: make sure if they're high level, make sure you have the proper gear and weapons to take on these Thraxes, because the higher they get up, like around 80s, I've had trouble with level 80s dealing with them, because they can, if they get a hold of you, they'll strip away a lot of your health. Be careful. Good shit. Okay, dude. Okay, man. So for the second mission type, we have Void Flood. And the way this mission type works is you start off with a drone with the sole purpose of picking up Vital Plast, it's called. You'll see them around. They look like boba. I think that's like the best example. Think of like a void energized colored boba. Tasty flavor. They're just scattered across the map. And with your void, I mean, it doesn't really show the animation, but it basically picks up that Void Plast and puts it in the drone right next to you. And if you look at the drone right next to you, you can see how filled the drone is. And once you see it's all the way maxed up, you then proceed to put in the Vital Plast into what's known as a Void Ruptures. Void Ruptures are waypointed across the map. They'll tell you where to go and drop it in. And you have to put in a certain amount. I don't know the exact amount. I'm just here to do the review. I'm explaining how the mission works. I don't have the statistical data for all that. But once you turn in enough Void Plast, you can then move on to the next rupture, and then from then on and then forth. Just like the other mission, just like Void Cascade, it is very repetitive. However, I find this one actually be kind of entertaining and kind of pleasing, sort of speak. Something satisfying as just picking up all the Voidoplast around the map. It's just like if you're exploring the map for fun. Using I wanted to use Wukong. I tried testing out Wukong, see if you collect in his Skywalker, or is it Cloudwalker, but it doesn't work, sadly. So I really feel like DE should really change that, because if you can do this with Titania, I really feel like you should be able to do it with Wukong's Cloudwalker. I know it's probably doesn't make sense, but just make it happen, man. It's just for the fun. We're just playing for fun. But I do find this actually mission very pleasing. I would say it's in between. However, it's not number one. The one that beats it is the last mission type. But I will give it credit. It is very satisfying to play and very quick. I find missions that are quick, but yet can be endless, or just quick but yet straight to the point. They can be really fun. I think DE does a really good job at making these type of missions. So yeah, I definitely put this as a really fun mission. If I really want to just have fun playing on Zariman, I play this mission or the one I'm gonna be talking about next. So for the final mission type, we have the one, the only, Void Armageddon, people. If you don't know what Void Armageddon, look no farther but by typing in cool math games and then searching for Balloon Tower Defense. Yes, people, I'm telling you, Balloon Tower Defense has made itself into Warframe. It is groundbreaking news. Nah, but all jokes aside, Void Armageddon is very similar to Balloon Tower Defense. As much as I joke, the way this mission type works is you start off having 30 seconds to a minute to pick up crystals, I think they're called, I'm not really sure, in a certain area. And once you pick up those I call them points, simple terms of points. Once you pick up the points from the cash deposit, you then invest those points into, what do you guess? Investing in turrets. There's many different element turrets. There is magnetic, there is corrosive, there is, I'm pretty sure, cold, and there's another one. I think I think those are the three off the top of my head. I will correct myself if I am wrong. But once you place down the turrets from the points you have available, you then have to play a defensive mission, but in Zariman, but it's called Void Armageddon. See, now this one, it just brings good memories. It brings good memories, man. So I definitely have this as my favorite because, you know, when you was a little kid, bruh, you was in middle school or elementary, when after you finish all your work, or maybe even had a substitute teacher, and after you finish your work, the teacher would be like, all right, you got the remaining rest of class to do whatever you want. And you know what everyone always did, if you're around my age, young 20, all right, young 20. Everyone would always go over cool math games and play Balloon Tower Defense, Cookmania, and I can't remember the other, the Lemonade one. Everyone used to play all those three games, so it brings good memories. I definitely enjoy that one the most. It's definitely gonna be the one people just say they like the most because, I mean, it's good. Everyone knows, like, it's a very enjoyable game. There's not really much game mode. There's really not much else to say about it. For me, it's my top favorite. It's my favorite out of all these mission types. Alright, now that we've covered the different mission types, we had Void Armageddon, Void Flood, and Void Cascade. Now, in order to find said mission types, there is either two options. One, going to Quinn, and you can either do a bounty, which actually is, we'll talk about later in another video, is one of the best ways of getting Endo. As you can see right here, this is Exterminate Tier 5 mission, meaning at Tier 5, it's the hardest one. However, it gives the best rewards. So if you see right here, you have two chances of getting 3,000 and 4,000 Endo, which is a complete great reward. Honestly, better than the rare rewards. So you can either obtain these missions from doing bounties, or you can just simply escape. You can do the same way of actually getting to Quinn, is escape, going to fast travel, and then just going to Zariman navigation. Something that's not available in the other free roam maps. This is the first one to implement this, where you could just simply fast travel over to the navigation, and you can choose the different mission types that are available. Obviously, we still have the same two very common mission types. We have mobile defense and exterminate. And if you want to do Steel Path, you don't have to change your map and load into Steel Path map. You can simply go on the top right and go down and click on the origin system, you know, the little the rank image, and just simply scroll over it, and then you can do Steel Path right here, and you can unlock them. I haven't done them because there's really no point in doing them. You don't get any, there's no reward for it, so I haven't found a need to do them, but you have that option. Something some people don't know is actually when you finish a mission, bounty or just a regular load in from the navigation, you can come back from where you spawned in and simply just interact with the navigation, and you can extract from said mission instantly. You don't have to wait. There's no countdown for like a minute to extract. So if you want to get out, you can get out whenever you want. This is a really good bounty right here. This is a really good bounty. I like doing these tier 5 bounties when you're solo. I have no friends. This is really a good standing endo farm, because tier 5 you can get 4,000. Even I suggest if you go all the way to tier 3, Tier 3 is even a good endo farm. This is a very, very great way of getting endo. Also, yes, this is a new area. I am finally, I've been moving a lot. However, this is the final place where I'll be making this video, and it'll finally be coming out. Now, after you do some missions and rack up some void plums, the way you redeem the void plums for standing is by going over and fast traveling to Armegeddon Yonta. So you talk to her, and these void plums, you can now exchange those and exchange them for standing. As much as I keep on saying it, it's really a good option. These exterminate missions offer, if you do like the high tier, like you get 3 or 4 of these quills, and as you see, I've racked up a whole bunch of them. So now you can upgrade your standing through this way, and you can also trade the void plums and upgrade them. So as you see right here, you can exchange certain resources that you obtain from these missions, and you can turn them in for void plums. Later on, it really doesn't matter. The only thing you really need to trade in void quills, or not quills, peons. You want to get as many of those as possible, so you can craft all the different weapons and the new war and the Engari parts using these peons. So you want to get as many of those as possible. As you see, I've already have a ridiculous amount. I've already got all the weapons, and as soon as later on in the game, it just becomes extra ways of earning standing, quicker ways of earning standing, and you don't really need to worry about it as much. But you see, the void plums are what you use to increase your standing, which now will show what you can do with that standing. By heading over to Cavallero, what he offers is, if you check his browse wares, Arcanes, different weapons, decorations, and a new decoration place, a new household place that's also available. Looking here, we have all these Arcanes to show off as a way of spending your standing. I'm gonna just give a quick rundown of what each one does and rank it to see how but tell how good it is from like a scale of 1 to 10 or something like that. First off, we have Eternal Eradicate. As an Eidolon Hunter, it's the best thing to get right now. It increases your amp damage by 60% for 8 seconds, just using your abilities. So just off of that alone, it's just free damage. So it's like the best, one of the best, second best in for doing Eidolons and everything else that requires killing enemies with your operator. Second, we have Cascade accuracy on roll critical chance. Oh, 300% critical chance on headshot. I've actually not even looked at this one that much. Oh, but it's on your secondary. You have to make sure you take a look underneath the standing amount. It'll tell you on which weapon it is. So you see on Turn to Eradicate, it works on only your amp. This one works on your secondaries. This is not a bad weapon for high crit chance weapons, obviously. It could be good. I just haven't indulged in high and secondaries. Next, we have Fractionalized Reset. This is actually one that people will say that why do this? Why use Fractionalized Reset when you can just simply use Primary Merciless. Primary Merciless. On rank 5, it gives you 30% reload speed. So just on a rank 5 Arcane, already gives you reload speed, and it increases your damage by 360%. So you could easily get this 30% reload and 360% damage. You would think that should be the one you take 9 times out of 10. However, I am that 1 out of 10 who actually loves using this Fractionalized Reset on my Ogress. As I was talking about earlier, doing exterminate missions, I actually use this Arcane right here, because I'm able to use a quick ability on my Gauss, like my 1 ability, which is increase my speed. I use that and get how many seconds? 5 seconds of 240% reload speed. If you time it right with your reload, it just works wonders. And I use, just short and simple, I use it a lot. Definitely a situational Arcane, but one I do recommend if you're trying to do something quick and you want to min-max it as quick as possible. Next, we have Molt Vigor. On operator ability, plus 45% strength on your next Warframe cast. Pretty okay. However, the only downside of this is what I would use for a high duration abilities. Something like Eclipse or maybe Roar or your discharge ability, like on Volt 4 ability, or Ember's meteorites. Something that's a quick, AoE, just destroy or high duration. I recommend on using this arcane. Next, we have Emergence Savior. On lethal damage, become invulnerable for 5 seconds and recover 60% health. I'm pretty sure this is basically just rolling guard. You don't have to roll, and you recover 60% health. But the only downside is that this is a 90-second cooldown. I just don't recommend this, man. Just use rolling guard if you're trying to be immune to damage for a short period of time. Next, we have Eternal Onslaught. You're going to be using this for any time you're going to need to focus on your operator. Anytime you're doing operator damage, this is priority number 1. In the past, we had Virtuous Shadow, which if we look, if I type this Virtuous Shadow, you see right here, on headshot, you were able to get a 60% critical bonus. Now you're able to get 180. With the best amps, you're able to get guaranteed criticals, 100%. Cascadia Flare. I've never even looked at this or equipped it anytime, but just looking at this, it's not bad. He is definitely one of the second best elements in the game if you're just using just one or two elements, which is viral, and he is the best in the game. I definitely see this as a good arcane. Definitely if you're using heat and viral, I wouldn't put this as high priority. But if you're trying to test ways of doing more damage, I'd say this is an okay one. Next, we have Cascadia Empowered. I don't think this is a good one. Just flat out, just by reading at this, it just doesn't give you. It's just flat damage. It doesn't scale or anything with your damage. Next, we have Multi Efficiency. While sheets are active, gain 6% durability, or ability duration per second. I don't know why I say durability. Up to a maximum of 36%. This is actually one arcane I'm actually trying out right now. I think this is a good one to have. Definitely on something like Korra, or maybe a Limbo, or something that's like a defensive AoE build. Because for those missions like excavation or defense, you don't have to keep on recasting. So I definitely see this one as being having high potential. Next up, we have Emergence Renewed. Energy depleted, increase energy duration by 300%. I have not tried it out. It definitely has potential. Oh, wait, no, it's on your operator. That's why I remember seeing that before. I was like, oh, wait, this is like an Arcane Energize. But then now looking at it, it's on your operator. No, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Not worth it. It's F tier. If I actually made tier list, F tier. Melt Reconstruct. Heal yourself and allies within an affinity range. 6 health for each energy point. No, you have Magus Elevate, Magus Repair, Magus something else. There's another one where you do a Void Sling. You have many options, many different ways of healing yourself. Next is Eternal Logistics. On Void Sling, amp efficiency. No. Okay, any of these different amp mods or amp arcanes that you see here that aren't Eternal Onslaught, Eternal Eradicate, or I remember there's one more. I think it's just the other previous ones, like the one that increases your critical damage on your amp. Those are the only ones. Cascadia Overcharge. While overshields are active, plus 300 on your secondary. Didn't we just have that critical chance on roll? Secondary only on headshots. This, however, while you have overshields active, so something like Heldrin, I think. No, Harrow or Volt with his 4 augment. I'm not really sure how you proc overshields. I know it's when if you have the general UI, it's when your shield turns purple. That's how you get overshields. I'm not sure how you actually proc that, however. Definitely has potential. Lastly, second to last, we have Emergence Dissipate. I'm pretty sure, as it's saying, it's 10 energy to your amp, or to your operator. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. There's just so many better arcanes for your operator and amp.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
And now, lastly, we have Molt Augmented. Now, this is I would say the most fun arcane I've had in a long time. I love that they added this into the game. I hope maybe just a little bit, because I want to use every frame in Steel Pass. But yeah, that is all the Arcanes we just went over. It was I went over for 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes. So that's covering all of them, and my opinions on all of them. Ones you should prioritize mostly. If you're focusing on missions that require you to use your operator and have a good amp, Eternal Eradicate and Eternal Onslaught. The best of the best for your operator and amp. Just always get them. I highly recommend that if you're focusing on missions that were, again, like Void Angel, where you have to kill the Void Angel in their Void mode. Or something like Eidolon Hunts, again, these are going to come in handy. Now, for something like General Warframe, Molt Augmented is, as I just talked about it, definitely one you're going to have on a lot. I recommend it a lot. If I did the math correctly last time I did it, it was like 63% damage or something around there. Definitely recommend that one first for General Warframe. Second, Molt Efficiency. I like to do Steel Pass. I like to farm in Steel Pass. I use my Korra. This is definitely one I'm going to put on my Korra, and I think it's going to work well. Korra with her 4 ability, and then Hemless for 3 ability. Change it with Resonator. It takes all the aggro away from you, not having to worry about taking damage. The only time you have to worry about taking damage is from Acolytes. So definitely, I think this one would be the second best. And then for your weapons, primary, if you like high reload, use Fractionalized Reset. I use it personally. I don't really know secondaries. I need to do more research. I definitely make another video on that. Going over the secondary Arcanes and showing which ones I highly recommend compared to others. But yeah, those are my prioritized Arcanes from best to, or most important to not as important. Now we're going to head over to decorations. One I don't have as much expertise, but will give my opinion. Alright, now I'm here to show you off the different decorations. However, let's just keep it simple. I have not touched decorations. I have not looked at any of them. When it comes to decorations, I have no expertise in this. I mainly focus on fashioning my frame, and that's about it. If we scroll over, we see a lot of containers. This is all, as you see by the name, for your Dormizone, which we'll look at in a bit. And you can decorate it using these many different decorations that they have available. By the looks of it, they definitely are high in price. We see a lot of different, decorations. Definitely, if you have a creative touch, maybe you like these, maybe you don't. All up to the decorator themselves. I think these are okay, but I don't really like the rusty feels of. For me personally, I don't like rusty feels when I come to decoration. When I do decoration. And now going over to the next one, which I have invested in, is a different Voidshells. We see we have Titan Elegance, Teflon Ornament, Homestead Twill, Tarnished Morphic, and White Sun Veneer. I haven't purchased. We're actually gonna head over and show the different, show them on my Volt itself. But okay, so here we have my Volt. This is right here. I'm already using I-10 Elegance. I wasn't lying when I said I-10 Elegance is a really good one. Alright, so here we have I-10 Elegance. I haven't changed it. It's still I-10. This one, again, like I said, it definitely, for the metallic feel, is definitely a really good void shell. I highly recommend this one. One is personally my favorite. Also is with next to Oxium Gloss. Those are my two favorite that I've used so far. Titanium Sheen I've also found useful. Very situational for me, but and Tarnished Morphic kind of. Next we have Cephalon Adornment. So if we see here, Cephalon Adornment, sorry. It has these little lines inside of them. It's a little design to it. So it's not a bad one. Definitely not bad. Next we have a Homestead Twill. This one's giving a it kind of feels it's kind of plasticky. It's not really what the design I'm going for. You could maybe if you find it on a frame you like, I would say do that. However, it just looks kind of like a glove, like when you have like a really futuristic, like humans, what was it? Detroit Becomes Human. It just kind of gives me that feeling when they show their true forms and then not using the skins, that regular human skins. Kind of gave me that feeling to it. Next we have Tarnished Morphic. Tarnished Morphics. This one has a glossy feeling, not like Iton Elegance, which is, I feel like, is pure metal. Not a bad void shell. It just doesn't work with mine because it's shines too much. I need it to be a little bit more, not subtle. Subtle is not the word. Glaring. Again, glaring, glossy. It's just too much. But next and last, we have White Sun Veneer. I think it's just like the Homestead. Yeah, just like the Homestead. I don't even see a difference. Basically, these are both the same thing. I don't really even see a difference. So, I mean, if you like one or the other, save your 10,000 standing and just buy the one. But those are all of them. Definitely some good ones in there. I'd say once you have all the standing, just buy them all, and then, find which one works for your design of your Voidshells. There's also, if you didn't know, 3 new frames as of my current recording, which is the 4th, that are being released with Voidshells. Okay, so I did just confirm that the 3 new frames that are getting Voidshells are Nova, Excalibur, and Wukong. So you'll be also be able to test out these Voidshells on those 3 new frames on top of Volt, not Excalibur, Rhino, and Saren. So we have 6 frames to try out these new Voidshells on. So if you find a use of any of those frames, maybe matching one of these Voidshells, then definitely give it a try. See if you like it. I definitely, if you're going in for the metallic, I again recommend I-10 Elegance. If you're going for like a glossy, kind of glowy void shell, then like I said before, I try out Tarnished, which is the Angels of Zariman updates. And then for the kind of plastic, more subtle void shell, you'd go for either the White Sun Veneer or the Homestead, right? Yeah, Homestead, or the more classy. And then there was the last one, which is Adornment with Cephalon Adornment. We have all these different fashions, or with all these different void shells, you now have more to add on to your fashion frame. Go out there, spend 5 hours trying to find the perfect fashion for your friend. Good luck. Okay, so last and finally, we have the weapons to go over in this review. Now, we're going to take a look at all the different weapons that you can obtain through the bounty system, such as the Aeolak and the Hespar. And then we'll also be going over the in-canon weapons, which you get to choose when you get the weapons from Shelvilero. We're going to take a look at these weapons right now. First off, I'm going to show off the weapons that the weapons. We're going to display these weapons from the weapons that do the least damage to the weapons I feel, in my opinion, do the most amount of damage in this update. And trust me, we got some heavy hitters, questionably even one of the strongest hitting weapons in the game. The weakest weapon that's in my opinion, which is the Felarx. The Felarx is a shotgun. Let's look at the different choices that I chose for my evolution. So the first one you can't really choose. It's headshot charge, which creates helps transmute the damage into the incantation form. Evolution 2, we get to choose between weapon recoil, projectile speed, and accuracy when aiming. The accuracy when aiming does not seem like it's a needed stat. Weapon recoil I just chose was the best. Projectile speed, however, could also be another one to pick. Third, we have we have reload toggles. Reload toggles the weapons between 100% projectile speed and 4-meter punch throw. So reloading just gives you either faster speed of the bullet, or of the thing that's coming out of the bullet, or you get 4 meters of punch through, which are not bad. I mean, it's all whatever you choose. I chose the magazine reloader when holstered. I mean, it's kind of not needed, but reload increases the fire by 10%, resets on reload. Honestly, this is probably the best one, but I've already had it here, and I mean, this weapon is the least does the least amount of damage. I don't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me. Next, we have 10% crit and 10% status. Headshot build is more incarnate transmute charge. Gets you quicker to that mutation. And then 20% status and negative 10% critical chance, which I'm actually going to switch over to now. You really need that for this weapon. It's really not going to make a huge of a difference. When I display the damage, I still think it does the lowest amount of damage. However, we will do this and then test it later on against high tier enemies. And then lastly, for Evolution 5, you have choose between 50% chance to deal 2,000% damage on non-crit hits. Second is on punch through 3 enemies. Ammo efficiency for 20 seconds. Gain 50% ammo efficiency while gliding and sliding. All around, just you want to go with the damage, man. If it says non-criticals to give you that big time damage, then hey, we're just gonna not do criticals and just go heavy status, which is not a bad thing. Dot over time doesn't sound so bad of a idea to me. But that's what we're gonna choose for the Felarx. And now we're gonna go over to the second weapon, which is gonna be the Praedos. Now that's not to say that this weapon is a bad weapon. Sometimes you even use it over the other one that came from this update. We'll talk about that one later. However, let's see the evolutions. For the first evolution, I pressed. Oh, and this one's just the same. Actually, same for everyone. Your second upgrade, evolution 2, you get to choose between sprint speed and slide, attack speed, and slam radius. I love my speed. You saw in the very beginning of the recording that I'm a Volt main. You saw Volt. I don't think you've seen a single other frame besides Volt in this video. Shows how much I like Volt, and plus slide, man. I mean, all around, just speed. Next, we have evolution 3, which is initial 15 to initial combo, 1.5 meters in slide attack range. I think we're actually going to change this to slide attack range. However, the only reason I didn't equip it is because I don't really use slide attacks. However, I should start using them more because you can go faster when using your melee. So we'll add that on. Lastly, for each enemy hit by slam radius, gain 4 combo. For evolution 4, we have choosing between increased double jump strength by 100%. However, last we have reach 3 times combo and heavy attack to activate in cannon. So just get to your cannon form earlier. However, it's not that hard to reach a 5 times combo. So just choose whichever you want. If you want to activate sooner and lose the speed, then that's your choice. However, I choose the speed, so I went with parkour velocity. And now last we have collect ammo. Collecting ammo grants 5 melee combo counter. Other one on slide kill, plus 50% heavy attack efficiency for 30 seconds. Heavy attack efficiency, I don't need no efficiency or anything like that. I'd rather just go for speed. I think that's a better option. So that's why I picked the 100% heavy attack windup speed. And now that's gonna be the last of those weapons from this loadout. Okay, so for the third weapon on this list that I have chose the Aeolak. For me, it's kind of in the air for me. I haven't completely maxed out this weapon and all its everything that has to show. However, I do think when compared to the other weapons, I do think it's third on the list. However, I do think it's interchangeable with this weapon and the fourth weapon that I'm going to be showing next. However, this is not a bad weapon. I do think this is a good weapon, and it's a fun one as well. Its middle ability, or if you use its alternate fire, which is procced with the middle click, you're able to do a huge AoE explosion, which we'll be showing off later in the video when we display all the weapons and all their damage. So I put this third on the list. However, by no means it's not a terrible weapon, but just my opinion where it belongs. And that fourth weapon that I was talking about, that I think it's interchangeable with each other, is the Phenmor. While the Phenmor has really good damage, again, can really do a lot with many enemies, do a lot of damage. It was just really, for me, it was one or the other, and I just don't see the Phenmor doing as much damage as the ones above. However, I do know that you could do a lot of damage with this weapon, and we're actually going to show off the stages or the evolutions that I chose for this weapon. So for the first one, same as all the all the other weapons or rifles in this game, ranged weapons. For Evolution 2, I chose increase the fire rate. We had also choose from projectile speed or accuracy and less recoil while aiming. Next, we have on headshot, 20% chance to instant reload. I mean, when you're going to be in your incantation form, that does not help with anything, so I'd rather not. On reload from empty, plus 100% reload speed for 6 seconds. So that gives you incentive to just let the whole clip, just let it fly. So I chose that one for mine. And the other one is 50% magazine capacity. So if we take a look at that, that goes from a 30 magazine to a 45 magazine. Next up, we have Evolution 4, which is again, status plus 20% status chance and negative 10 critical chance. And you'll see why if you saw the last ranged weapon, you'll know why I did this. Next one is headshot builds 50% more incantation. And then for the last one, we have Survivor's Edge, which is 10% critical chance and 10% status chance, which is not a bad attribute to choose or bonus. However, when looking at the last ability, you understand why. Lingering Judgment, which on two headshots within 2 seconds, increase headshot damage for 8 seconds. That's just too many headshots, man. Headshot. We're just trying to do damage. We're not trying to always be aiming at the head. Next, we have Spiteful Defilement. Enemies suffering fewer than three status effects will receive 100% critical chance. Or critical damage, sorry. I think that's not a bad weapon. However, since I love to go viral and heat on everything, I just don't see this working out for me. I think it's all around better just to go with the last one, which is Devouring Attrition, which is 50% chance to deal 2,000 damage on non-critical hits. They're really pushing this non-critical hit on these evolved weapons, and I'm all for it. If they're going to give us that much of a damage increase, we should take it and just go with it. So I'm going again with this non-critical hits. So we're going to go for high statuses instead, which is not bad because that's damage over time, which, I mean, eventually you'll get the job done. And more than likely sooner rather than later with that 2,000% damage increase. And that's going to do it for this Phenmor weapon. And we're actually going to go right into the fifth weapon. This one, the Innodem. The Innodem is, in my opinion, the sixth best. I do think that this one is better than the Praedos. You could, if you have a suggestion, you think the Praedos is better than Innodem, feel free to show me, or feel free to explain why in the comment sections. I'm always down to have suggestions and change my mind. So the upgrades that I chose is same thing, 5 times combo. Same old. Sprint speed, it doesn't give the slide. However, I do like this 30% sprint speed, which is really nice. Attack speed, and I want speed. Range and 0.5 range. Sprint speed all around for me. Next we have to choose between Blade Twister, which is 60% finisher damage increase. Hawk Momentum, gain 5 combo for every 10 meters of continuous slide. It just wants you to just be spamming slide the whole down. You'll be just running down the alley, and you're just like, oh wait, I gotta increase my combo. Let me keep on sliding. No, I rather just go with this one, which is increase the range of aerial melee attacks by 5%. And you'll be wondering, what are these aerial melees? Are you talking about like jumping in the air and just slashing? Well, yes and no. We're gonna show off, explain what that means later on. Later on when we test out these weapons. And next we have for level 4, we have to choose between protracted execution on a finisher, 20% or 20 combo on finisher. Again, I'm not a finisher type of person. I like to go quick. Incarnate Imango, that's how you say it. I don't know. Oh shoot, let's switch that. Which is reach times 3 combo and heavy. Reach a 3 times combo and heavy attacks to activate Incarnate. So it's just again to activate your Incarnate form quicker. On airborne melee kills, plus 50% damage for 10 seconds, stacks to 3 times, up to 3 times, meaning up to 150% melee damage. And lastly, but you choose between collect the ammo, grants 5 melee combo counter. I just don't want to do that. On finisher, stuns where enemies in 10 meter radius. Again, I don't like finishers, so I just don't use it. So I chose, well, actually, it was pick your poison. and I chose heavy attack efficiency because I think efficiency just makes the wind up quicker, right? If I remember correctly, I don't know. And that's gonna do it for this weapon. And now we're gonna go on to the 6th weapon, which is actually gonna be right here. This is the second to best gun or best weapon in this game, and that is the Laetum. The Laetum has been talked about. If you've been on Warframe and been hearing about this update, you have heard so much about this weapon being super good, and it's definitely lived up to its hype as being one of the best weapons in this update. Again, we don't have to go over, you know how this works. So next, for Evolution 2, you have choose between increased movement speed when aiming by 50%, Marksman Hand, which is reducing the recoil, or Rapid Wraith, which is increasing the fire rate. I chose fire rate. I want to shoot out more bullets. Next, we have Evolution 3, which is choosing between Feather of Justice, gain 60% ammo efficiency while aim, gliding and sliding, Awakened Readiness, plus 30% magazine reload when holstered, and lastly, on headshot, plus 30% reload speed for 12 seconds, stacks to 3%. I'm a big person who loves reload speed. Anything speed in this game, I'm more likely gonna love. Next, for Evolution 4, we have status Elemental Excess, which gives 20% status chance while taking away 10% critical chance. If you saw the last 2 weapons, you know where this is gonna head. Next is Incarnate Efficiency. Headshots build 50% more. Again, just quicker to get the incarnate form. I don't want that. I want pure damage. And lastly, Caput Mortem, if I said that right, 50% headshot damage. And now lastly, as you saw by the last one, it's kind of spoiled. Well, we're going to go over the other ones, and you'll see. On hit, that is neither critical nor applies status percent, plus 400% damage for 10 seconds. Again, stacks up to 1200%. This is a very weird middle ground that it wants you to hit. So I don't find this very helpful. Because if you want one of the two, but at the same time it's saying, oh well, if you don't hit one of the two, you'll still get increased damage. But I want that increased damage more often times than not. I don't think this is a good one. Next is Reaper's Plenty on headshot, plus 40% ammo efficiency for 10 seconds. And lastly, Devouring Attrition, plus 50% chance, or 50% chance to deal 2,000 damage on non-critical hits. It's been the same for all of these incantation weapons or incarnate weapons. It doesn't want you to do critical. It wants you to get these dots on these enemies, and I'm all for it. Now going over to the last and final weapon, which I think is the best in this game, or in this update, and possibly in this game. Now lastly, for the final weapon, we have the Hespar. Let's see if I can show this bad boy. No, I can't. The Hespar is the best weapon from this update. We'll take a look at the mods when we go out and test the weapons. However, I think this weapon from all of them is the best out of all. We'll take a look at the mods later, but just know this one's going to be the best. I'll show off many enemies when using this weapon to show it is just lethal and is out of this world. But now we're going to show off all the different weapons and all of their damages. Against Steel Path, level 180s, 80 corrupted heavy gunners. Okay, so 2 things before we get on to showing the weapons. First thing, I want to change actually my list of how I rank the weapons. I think after reviewing, I think the Aeolak, I tried giving it another test, and it just doesn't cut out. So I'm actually gonna swap it where I had it before. Okay, so I had the Aeolak ranked 5th best as the 5th best weapon from this update. I thought the weapon scaled a little bit better. However, looking at the stats and results, I could tell that it's not really one of the best. So I did rank it last, and instead the Felarx is in the 6th best. Praedos as the 5th best. Then the Phenmor was the 3rd best, and then I had the Innodem as the 2nd, the Praedos was the 4th best. Innodem was the 3rd best, and then the Laetum was the 2nd best, and then first I had the Hespar. So that's all. I want to make a correction on that. Now it's time to head over and see what the Dormizone look like. I forgot to mention it earlier and show what it looks like, but now we're gonna head over real quick, and then after we show off, display what the Dormizone looks like, we will then take a look at the weapons and their stats. So as you load in, you see this is what the load in looks like. Spawn in with, like, you know, abandoned school, which is supposed to be the premise of this update. You see right here, this is the dorm. So you have the kitchen right here. You can see good seating place with food, little food pre-made. I don't know how long that's been out. And then you see a lot of kitchen utensils all around. Then we go over here to, I would guess is the bedroom. Multiple people's bedrooms. So this is what it looks like. You can't do missions from here, but you can go around and just look at here, and it could be a place you could stop by at and look around. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, you cannot start a mission from here. Is that supposed to be parents? I think that's supposed to be the parents. Yep. That's the orange hair. That's actually really interesting. I think they based off the 2 blends you did for your character, and then use that as a way of making your parents be generated. It's interesting. But yep, that's gonna be here, and then in a little bit I'll show off what the upgraded Dormizone is like. Oh, and on top of this, I just realized right now, you could also lock the door. If you interact right here, you could lock it, and I guess you feel a bit more safe. I mean, who knows what it was like? I mean, there's probably people who do know what it was like beforehand, so there's a reason to lock it. Oh, just like any other door, actually. So that's just a cool, neat feature. Okay, and something I also just realized by just interacting with the elevator, that was behind us when we spawned in, is that if you head over to Homebusk, which is the decoration person, there's actually an elevator right here, which takes you to your Dormizone, which is at the very end of Zariman when you spawn in. So in case you want to head over from just the Zariman navigation site and all that, where you first spawn in, you can also go in from here. Okay, so I know I said I wasn't gonna do this, but your boy had extra points, so it might as well just done it and just, you know, see what's in there. I could have just looked up a YouTube video. I should have just finessed my way. I mean, I have the points, so let's see what's in here. Not bad. I love this. 4 volts. Oh my goodness. No. Each one's different. Trust me, in their own special way. They're all different. Let's put that one and put that one. Ooh, actually, we'll put that one. I know my volts all well, so every one I know this custom loud. Oh, perfection. Yeah, this room was worth the 1 million. I won't lie. Screw the view. Oh my volts. Oh, great investment. Okay, so now it's finally time to show off the weapons. Is here, as I ranked 7th finally and updated, is the Aeolak. So while I was going to have it higher, the reason why I didn't do so was because it just doesn't scale well with basically steel path enemies. Let me first garner some stacks. As it gets more stacks, I mean, of course it's going to do more damage thanks to galvanized chamber. What I've realized is that what you have to do is charge up your Aeolak to spread around dots, which makes it then easier to kill the target. Even with all this, it's a really fun gun. So I had to take one of my headphones off because it was just too loud. I just really wish like the single target did more damage. I think that's the only thing it's missing from this. I think if you invest a lot, maybe even a Revenant into this weapon, you can do a lot more damage. But for this reason that it just doesn't scale well, I have to put it rank it 7th on the list. So next on the list, while it did get a 1 point improvement, I still have it ranked 6th on the list. The thing that actually, in my opinion, funny enough, that makes it ranked 6th on the list is because of this. it's alt fire. I think the cannon form actually does worse than the regular form, mainly because of its heavy kickback. If it was more fluid and less just one big old shot, then I would put it higher. The only problem with this is that it just doesn't, if it were to one shot, I'd more likely have this weapon way higher. Heck, maybe even possibly behind the Laetum. But it just feels a lot smoother with its regular fire compared to its in cannon form. So for that reason, I have it 6 on the list. So now let's take a look at the modding for the Felarx. As you see right here, I went for the regular old status on the weapon. I did put a lot of fire rate. I think the fire rate shot is needed in order to better the in cannon form. So I did put it here, and I think it does need to be there. That's the reason why that is there. You see right here, I put shotgun savvy for that 24% projectile status increase its on kill. Now we can look at the Praedos. You see right here, this is the modding I have for mine. I have the classic viral and heat. I put some slash on there because I do love my slash on enemies. I'm a big Necros user, so I like to make sure everything has slash to increase that drop rate, because any resource is a good resource. I think it's just because melee is just top runner in this game. There's no reason why this is better than the Felarx. I think mainly just because melee just has such an overpowered, and it's not even in cannon form. If you look at the in cannon form, it's just ridiculous. I see 2 shots, 1, 2, 3. It'll die with phantom status. 1, 2, 3. I mean, I pressed it 3 times, but I guess my speed gave it more than I was expecting. But that's just melee. Melee is just in a different world with everything, and I'm not hating on it. That's just the Warframe we are in, which has been the case for like basically the majority of Warframe. Melee of overpowering. Now on to what I believe is the 4th weapon is the Phenmor. See, if you see, look here, this is how I've ranked modded the Phenmor. I did go heavy status because all these weapons, they're all status weapons, so this is the reason why. I do think I could probably change out the slash, but besides that, I mean, I really don't think there's anything else to really add here. But if we now test the weapon out, if it's in cannon form, I think it's just way too amazing to not be ranked 4th on this list. And while that sounds bad, ranking 4th this weapon, there's just so many heavy hitters. You can't really take that me ranking this 4th as a bad thing. I think it's just really an amazing thing of how many good weapons we got from this update. But I do love this like mini gun type of feeling I get when using this weapon, so that's why I have it high, and I actually like it a lot. Just so satisfying to just hold down on the left click and just not have to use much aiming. I mean, there is obviously you do have to aim at the target, but it just shreds. Where 1 second you could just be randomly aiming at something and then accidentally hit the target. And he's dead. He only took like 2 shots. That's the reason why I ranked this 4th, and not for a bad. Just I think that's actually a really good spot, considering how we have so many heavy hitters on this list. Now for the 3rd weapon on this list, the Innodem. I know many people might consider the Phenmor as the 3rd best. I don't know. I feel like melee is just so high up in these rankings. It's so high in this game. It just makes sense to put the Innodem. And the reason why I put this so high is because it just has fun damage and damage. I feel like this thing shreds. The only problem is that it does have a small range or reach to it. So if you remod it something a little bit more to give more reach, I think you could make it a little bit better. But if you see, once we put on the in cannon form, I mean, melee is just overpowered. But I do have this one higher. But also, to keep in mind, once you see on the top right, where we see in cannon form being procced, you see my mouse right here. This is in cannon form. With this, you're now able to do range melee. If you saw earlier, I was talking about how the 0.2 meters to radial attacks was going to be explained, and this is what I was talking about. I think this is really fun, and it does a good amount of damage. These are, keep in mind, these are ranked steel pass enemies, 180. And they have amazing armor on them. So they're not. It's not going to be, you know, just super annihilating of enemies. But it is doing quite a bit of damage. I don't have any procs on. This is just pure damage pure damage for it. If it had more procs of flash and heat instead of impact, I'd say this weapon would be even. I mean, I think it'd be even. I wouldn't say it beat the Laetum, but it definitely beats. It would put it high up there, close to, debatably. But it's just all around just a fun weapon to have while doing insane damage from range if you feel like doing it. So if we were to use something like Knighted, for example, and this. Oh my! I lost the. Wait, no, I have the cannon form. Okay, it's not proccing in cannon form, so I'm gonna have to re-proc it, I suppose. Okay, attempt number, those threads, I don't know. There we go. As we see here, you could just go ham with enemies. So I do place it second. I know this, I give it a lot more time than the rest, but I mean, I just love it. It's so fun. I'm playing Warframe for fun. Now we can take a look at the second. And maybe some might say, why is this place second on the list? Which is the Laetum. The Laetum is what I have placed second on the list. I know a lot of people always are putting it first of this whole update, and that's understandable. It is a great weapon. It has so much hype behind it, and it's worth it. The Laetum is an amazing weapon that just does so much damage. I actually use it when I have my liches spawn. I always make sure to bring my Laetum because it shreds them. It shreds them if they're not resistant to it. So if you see right here, I have I actually gotta make this. I guess I have not updated the weapon a little bit in some time, but this is how I mod the weapon. Of course, you see we're not going for critical in the slightest. So I have no critical on there. I'm actually surprised why there's 12%. Yeah, I have complete status. I thought I'm 12%. Yeah, instead of 10%. I have complete status on it. I could upgrade this mod, but just let me be. But please excuse me for the level 11 and not rank 12. As you see, we're gonna show why this weapon is so hyped up, and rightfully so. I mean, it does take a while to rank it up with. It is hard to aim without its cannon form, but once it gets it, I think this is the one that just easily shreds compared to all the other weapons, man. It is I mean, let me just not say anything and just let you see what I mean. I mean, you saw it right there, but okay, hold on. We're gonna do something even better. We're gonna get in cannon form, and then we're just gonna see how quickly we can actually get this, kill everyone. So 45, go. Watch me. I could have easily aimed this better. Started at 45. Wait. We started at 45? 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Yeah, we started. Something about that gun in real time made it feel like it took like 10 seconds or less. I'm pretty sure if you've been on this game since the update, you've heard about this weapon nonstop, and rightfully so. However, it is not first. The weapon that's first might, if you haven't gotten the weapon, you might not understand why I put this weapon so high. But those who have gotten it will understand why this is questionably not just the best gun from this update, but the best weapon in all of Warframe. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the Hesper. I won't say much. I will just do one hit.
Bruh. Look at this dude.
Let that be the judge. First recording,
Wait till you see
by the way.
No.
So the reason you see me so stunned in that video is because just about a week ago, you were able to proc something like heat status around 100 times on an enemy with about 4 or 5 hits. Now with the recent hotfix, it has been patched, quote unquote, so that it doesn't proc unintended statuses. However, the only statuses I received on that weapon were the statuses that I had modded on my Hesper, which were viral, heat, slash, and puncture, which has me confused now, and in the earlier video had me confused while I was doing that part of the recording. Okay, so I finally was able to get the Hesper. You know, the glaive is undisputed, mainly because of its incredible range, and on top of it, the outstanding damage that it does. But I was finally able to get my Hesper to be the top dog like it always is. I make sure I know what I'm talking about. While the update did mess it up a little bit, the nerf to it did mess up a little bit, it's still there, man. It's still there. The heavy attack on this is what's gonna make this baby do what it does. You see, I just procted I procced 8 shots of the compressor to give it that viral and corrosive. I could probably do 6. Let's see. In case you're like trying to be safe. Yep. Yeah. Simple. Just use the heavy attack. It's all around just better. I don't even need those other proc. I just need one proc of everything, and then boom, we just annihilate everything. The Hesper is another tier. It's the glaive. After this update, is still the best melee around, undisputed. But this is definitely a top second. But if I showed a clip earlier, I was able to do insane crits or insane damage, just stripping killing enemies with just all the procs I had on. Like, I even had the Jugulus doing damage. I'm gonna have to turn it down if I spawn these bad boys. It gets loud when I spawn them. I don't know if this works on them though. It does. In a weird way. I've never actually done this. I mean, these are still enemies, and they are getting worked. Hold up. Let's actually, there we go. I don't know how many kills that was right there. But that seems like quite a bit. But that is going to be it for the review. I know this is finally the end. I mean, there's no really way to end it, but this is covering the bounties, the mission types, the story, the Dormizone, decorations, Voidshells, and the cannon weapons, of course. On top of the bounty, or I don't know, I said bounties, but on top of the cannon weapons, and the many weapons that came from this update. So if y'all enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe for more Warframe and other game content. I like going in depth in games that I enjoy a lot. But that's gonna do it. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next video.